They have a choice. You can say yes, and we will be very appreciative, or you can say no, and we will remember. A strong and secure America means a strong NATO, and that's one reason why I'm working every day to ensure our military is very powerful. And I'm dealing with President Putin, and he wants to make a deal, I believe. I'm dealing with President Zelensky, and I think he wants to make a deal. I'm meeting him today. So when I called up Emmanuel Macron, I watched him yesterday with those beautiful sunglasses. What the hell happened? But I watched him sort of be tough.
This is my video update on this Wednesday afternoon, January the 21st, coming to you from Nicosia, Cyprus. Let's talk about some news. Hurry curry. Let's talk about some hurry curry. Let's talk about Davos. That is the big news story. Trump's plane was supposed to take off for Davos yesterday, and there was some electrical problem, some minor electrical problem, and the Trump plane had to turn back to DC to fix whatever problem there was, and then Trump took off a little bit later for Davos, and now he has arrived in Davos. So the party now begins. Trump in Switzerland at the WEF. The whole world is watching, watching and waiting to see what Trump is going to say. So Witkoff and Kushner, they met with Dmitriev yesterday in Davos. And according to Dmitriev, the meeting went well. According to Witkoff and Kushner, the meeting went really well. It went so well that, let's go down this way, that tomorrow Witkoff and Kushner are going to be in Moscow. And according to Witkoff, this is on the invitation of Russian President Vladimir Putin. This is what Witkoff told, I think it was Bloomberg that was interviewing him in Davos after the meeting with Dmitriev. And he revealed that he would be going to Moscow along with Jared, and the Russian president would like to meet them. He also said that the Ukraine peace deal is 90% done. I think we've made even more significant improvements. 90% done with who? With who? With Zelensky? Yeah, sure. 90%, 100%, 120%. What does Russia have to say about everything that you've agreed on with Zelensky and the Europeans in Paris, in that Paris summit? So if I was Witkoff and Kushner, going to Moscow and preparing to meet Putin, understanding the situation right now in Ukraine on the front lines, and the energy and the electricity situation, as well as the oligarch fighting that is currently going on, as well as the EU's inability to continue to fund and bankroll the conflict in Ukraine, the US's inability to continue the conflict in Ukraine, I would capitulate to Putin and to Russia if I was Kushner and Witkoff. I would accept June 2024 and whatever else Putin may be offering June 2024 root cause as being the minimum. But Dmitriev, he said that the more time that goes along with negotiating with the United States, the more the time passes, the more that Witkoff and Kushner are coming around to Russia's way of thinking. So it does look like the Green Goblin will not be going to Davos, which is shocking. It's absolutely shocking. You're going to have an event with all of the world leaders and all of that money, all of that money concentrated in one location, and Zelensky's not going to go. It really is an upside down world. Well, the reason that Zelensky allegedly is not going to go to Davos is because of Greenland. All the attention is on Greenland. From Politico, Greenland turmoil is eclipsing Ukraine at Davos. European leaders gathering at the World Economic Forum are consumed by Donald Trump's efforts to annex the Arctic island. It's not going to be about the Green Goblin, so why should the Green Goblin go if he's not going to be the center of attention? Greenland. Interesting. Greenland. Green Goblin. Greenland has taken over the number one spot, the number one priority for the Europeans and for NATO over the Green Goblin. Kind of poetic, isn't it? Kind of fitting. Anyway, we'll see. We will see if Zelensky really does not show up to Davos, or maybe he'll change his mind. But he was supposed to go to Davos to allegedly, I don't buy this, but allegedly he was going to sign this $800 billion 10-year financing deal with Trump, and he was going to sign some sort of US-Ukraine security guarantees. I don't buy it for a second. I do not buy it for a second. Very convenient for Trump to have to avoid meeting up with Zelensky and having to explain why he doesn't want to sign an $800 billion deal with Ukraine, a financing investment deal with Ukraine, or he doesn't want to sign security guarantees with Ukraine. I have no idea where that leads, or if that even leads anywhere. I have no idea. I think it's a dead end, actually. I think it's a dead end. Who knows? Secret passage underneath the city of Nicosia. So Trump doesn't have to deal with all of that stuff. He just has to deal with Greenland now. Greenland and the Europeans. That's what he has to deal with. So we had the lineup today. Well, the lineup is going to be Trump later this afternoon. That's going to be the big speech. But so far we had Macron, and we had Ursula, Macron. Who else spoke yesterday? Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada. Yeah, he gave probably the most talked about speech in Davos. Macron stole the show with his sunglasses, no doubt about it. He's the star with those sunglasses. And I have to be honest with everyone that is watching this video. I kind of like the look. I kind of dig it, man. I like it. I think he should keep the sunglasses. Keep the sunglasses. I mean, maybe the doctor is telling him wear the sunglasses so nothing gets in your eye, or so the light doesn't bother you because you have some sort of burst vein or something popped in his eye. But I like the look. I like it. I like it a lot. Macron, I like it. I like it. Like this video, everybody. Share this video and subscribe to this channel. Let's see if we can get to 253,000 subscribers on YouTube. But yeah, I think that should be his look going forward. He has 1 year in office. You might as well just change things up. Keep the shades, wear them for the next year, wear them indoors, wear them outdoors, wear them if it's sunny, wear them if it's cloudy and rainy, wear them at night, wear those sunglasses at night. So I can. Yeah, wear the shades. Absolutely. That's the look, Macron. That is the look. The Top Gun Maverick look. Macron is Maverick and Merz is Goose. and it does kind of match. It matches. Macron is the Tom Cruise Maverick, and Merz is Anthony Edwards. Was it that played Goose? I think so. Yeah, Merz is Goose. Yeah. I posted that on X, Maverick Macron and Goose Merz, and someone commented under that post, check out Macron's sideburns. Yeah, he's got the sideburns going on as well. He's looking cool, man. He's looking cool. It's a new and improved Top Gun, cool Macron. I like it. I like it. Oh, wow. Clown world. So yeah, Macron stole the show with the shades, but Carney stole the show with his speech. And what did Carney say? Carney basically told the entire world. He told the globalist elites in Davos. He told the political class of the collective West and the entire world, not only that the international rules-based order is no more, and we should not lament for the death of the international rules-based order. Don't be sad that the international rules-based order is finished. But he also said that there never really was an international rules-based order. Carney, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to us? What are you doing to us? All of us have been looking for that international rules-based order handbook, that PDF download. I've been looking for it. You've been looking for it. We've been trying to track down the international rules-based order handbook, that PDF, so we can all get an understanding of what exactly are these international rules that you guys in the collective West, the globalist elite, keep on talking about. You keep on going on and on about the international rules-based order. And so we've been, for the past 3 years, looking for the international rules-based order book. Never found it. I don't think anyone has found it. Has anyone found it? I don't think anyone has been able to locate that handbook. And now Carney says that it never existed. We were all pretending. He said we should just stop pretending about this whole international rules-based order. Stop pretending, he said. Let's stop pretending that there ever was an international rules-based order. They were faking it the whole time. They were faking it the whole freaking time. And Carney, former bank head of England, who is now Prime Minister of Canada, he finally admitted it. It's all been make-believe. Because it benefited them. It was make-believe because it was to their benefit. So they made it up as they were benefiting from it. Now that it doesn't benefit them anymore, now that you have the collective West elite class going after each other, it's not so fun. And so we gotta forget about the make-believe international rules-based order. Forget about it. It was fun while we were pretending it existed, but now it's been turned against us, so let's move on. Let's move on to something else. Well done, Carney. Well done. RUTTE was speaking this morning, the NATO CEO, and he was doing some major butt kissing to Trump, to Daddy, major butt kissing to Trump. Yeah, he actually said that a lot of people just don't understand Trump. You're misunderstanding Trump, right? He's misunderstood. Don't be so hard on Trump with this whole Greenland thing. And then he pivoted to Russia and the Arctic. The Tree of Life, the famous Tree of Life in Nicosia, Cyprus. In all its glory. All kinds of animals, lizards and snakes live inside this tree. So yeah, RUTTE just made it all about Russia. Got to protect the Arctic from Russia and from China. Got to protect the Arctic. Trump is right. As NATO, we must protect the Arctic. Don't be so hard on Daddy. He's Daddy, right? He's Daddy Trump. And so sometimes Daddy has to be a little tough with the children, right? Tough love. It's all about tough love. But Daddy means well. That was RUTTE. That was RUTTE. I think Trump is right. We need to defend the Arctic. We know that China and Russia are increasingly active there. 8 countries in the Arctic are members of NATO, and there's only one country outside NATO. It's Russia, according to CEO RUTTE. And you also had Stubb, who was speaking at the WEF and was part of, I believe, the same panel with RUTTE. I think they were all on the same panel, but the leader of Finland was also making everything about Russia, everything about Russia. Right? No one wants to call out Trump for Greenland, at least not overtly. Not one collective West leader dare say that Trump, the United States of America, and US President Trump are about to take territory from Europe, from Denmark. No one says that. Not in the way that I've just said it. They talk about NATO and working together on the Arctic, and allies need to be friends, and allies should not be placing tariffs on one another, and we need to work together because of Russia and because of China. They're the real threats. But not one leader, I haven't heard one leader just come out and say, Trump is trying to invade and take a piece of Europe, and we will not allow it. We cannot allow this. Not one leader has said it. Because they're all scared. They are all scared, or they're all in agreement. This could all be theater, and they could all be in agreement. This could have already been pre-decided, and what we're seeing right now is just some theater playing out. Remember, the Trump foreign policy. The Trump foreign policy mantra is trickery. That's how he runs his foreign policy: deception, distraction, and trickery. We are getting reports that the UK is allowing the United States to use their military bases for a potential strike against Iran. So Starmer hasn't called out Trump. He's been very soft in his criticism of Trump with regards to Greenland, as has Macron. They're very careful not to be too aggressive in criticizing Trump over Greenland. I would say Macron has been a little more tough than Starmer, but then again, Macron has the sunglasses, so he probably feels more tough than 008 Starmer. But the UK is working with the United States. It looks like they're working with the United States for Iran, for a strike against Iran. So anyway, Stubb was talking about Russia and NATO and Finland, and how if there was an attack on Europe, specifically on Finland, that Finland would be able to defend itself against Russia. The United States is actually, if all of this is to be believed, the United States is going to take a chunk of Europe, and the question to Stube is will you defend Europe against Russia? Right? Not will you defend Europe against the United States, which is now about to take Greenland. No, will you defend Europe against Russia? And Stube said, yeah, absolutely. Finland's ready. Finland is ready, and Finland can fight. And he said Finland can fight, and that if there ever was a fight with Russia, he is certain that the United States would be there. Don't be so sure, Mr. Stube. Can Europe defend itself without the Americans? Stube said, yes. NATO hasn't entered the scene yet, Stube said, and the Russians have not been able to advance as much as they expected over the past 4 years. Yeah, NATO hasn't entered the scene in Ukraine. They've been running the whole proxy war in Ukraine, the United States and NATO. But Stube actually believes that NATO has not gotten involved in Ukraine. The most powerful NATO army, the de facto, let's call it a de facto NATO army because they're not a part of NATO, but next to the United States, maybe Turkey, the most powerful European army, let's say that, which is Ukraine, with the full support of NATO and the United States. All the weapons, all the money has been defeated by the Russian military, along with all the mercenaries, quote, the mercenaries, right, has been defeated by Russia. Many times over, actually. But Stube actually believes that he wants us to believe that NATO has not been involved in Ukraine yet. Okay, Stube. Okay. You keep on believing that. So anyway, that was Stube. Macron actually said yesterday that this is not the time for new imperialism or new colonialism. All the collective West leaders, they are hypocrites. They are hypocrites, man. Now that everything is being turned against them, it's not the time for colonialism. Now is not the time. Now that the international rules based order has been exposed as nothing but a fake and a fraud, now is not the time for imperialism and colonialism, according to Macron. Before the whole Greenland thing, that was the time for colonialism and imperialism, before the whole Greenland thing. But now, now is not the time. Let's not talk about colonialism and imperialism. Stunning and Brave was speaking at the EU Parliament. There's a whole bunch of speeches that are taking place at EU headquarters or the EU Parliament headquarters, and everyone is speaking there. All the top officials are there giving speeches. And Stunning and Brave, she said that no country has the right to take over the territory of another country, not in Ukraine, not in Greenland, not anywhere in the world. Really, Kaya Kallas? You really want to go there? Really? No country has the right to take the territory of another country? Really? Cyprus? Kosovo? Should I continue? Syria? Really, Stunning and Brave? Really? Wasn't Denmark one of the first countries to recognize Kosovo? And they even posted about it on X a couple of years ago, that they were proud to be one of the first countries to recognize Kosovo. Stunning and Brave. Not the sharpest knife in the drawer. So what else? What else is going on in Davos? What else is going on in Ukraine? From the Times, the Sunday Times. No power, minus 18. Sea and Russian attacks. Kiev faces catastrophe. Klitschko said that, the mayor of Kiev, Klitschko, said that 600,000 or 800,000 residents in Kiev have either been told to evacuate or are in the process of leaving the city or have left the city. He gave a huge number because things are just awful in Kiev. No heat, no electricity, no water in some areas, complete blackouts, not only in Kiev, but also in Kharkov and so many other cities. You know, when Witkoff and Kushner are going to meet with Putin, I wouldn't be surprised if Russia tells Witkoff and Kushner, look, accept whatever terms we give you, because whenever we want, whatever day we want, we can shut down the lights of all of Ukraine with just one more strike. I think that's where Russia has taken the situation in Ukraine. That's where they've brought it, where you're one or two strikes away from just completely shutting down everything. And then that would be a catastrophe for the people of Ukraine. Could be a catastrophe for Europe, because you have to imagine a lot of people would want to go to Europe. They would seek refuge in Europe. So we'll find out tomorrow what is said in Moscow as Putin meets with Witkoff and Kushner. Keep in mind, this is going to be the first meeting between Russia and the United States. Well, between Putin and the United States, not Russia and the United States, because we had Dmitriev meeting with Witkoff and Kushner yesterday. But this is going to be the first meeting between Putin and US envoys since the Novgorod drone strike. Yesterday's meeting between Dmitriev and Kushner and Witkoff was the first meeting between the United States and Russia since that Novgorod drone strike. Dmitriev posted on X an article from Bloomberg. The article from Bloomberg talked about the Russian economy, saying that Russia has reaped a windfall from a surge in gold prices since the start of its war in Ukraine, replacing lost assets. And Dmitriev posted, and now the good news. According to Bloomberg, Russian reserves have increased by at least 216 billion over the last 4 years due to the surge in gold prices. Yeah, Robert Barnes has been saying this for the past couple of weeks, that they may have frozen Russian assets at Euroclear, but by destroying the trust in the collective West financial system, you've actually driven up the price of gold to the benefit of Russia, so much so that the price of gold now, the increase in the price of gold, has actually eclipsed the 140 billion that the collective West has frozen at Euroclear. So Russia has actually made money from the freezing of their assets at Euroclear. Good job, Europe. And they have the added benefit of, Russia has the added benefit of seeing the collective West financial system collapsing. So good job, Europe, there as well. And without a doubt, over time, Russia's going to also get that 140 billion in frozen assets. There's no doubt about that sooner or later, probably later, but no doubt Russia is also going to get the 140 billion in Euroclear back as well. So we're talking about a comprehensive win for Russia there, and the comprehensive defeat for Ursula and the very smart folks in Brussels at the EU. They really played this one well, huh? You really damaged the Russian economy. Tatters, I tell you, tatters. So there was a journalist, Vox Populi, this ex-account Vox Populi who managed to catch up with the ECB chief, Christine Lagarde, and he asked Christine Lagarde, who's walking around in Davos, feeling at home in Davos, Lagarde, asked her about her plan to limit the spending of EU citizens to just 1,000 euros. I believe she's going to make it so that you could only spend up to 1,000 euros with the digital currency for items. Anything more than that, anything more than 1,000 euros, you're going to need some sort of permission from the ECB. And this is all going to be controlled by the euro digital currency through the euro digital currency wallets and AI, and all of these mechanisms are going to be used so that EU citizens cannot make payments of more than 1,000 euros without some sort of permission or approval from Lagarde and her technology, her AI technology, and Lagarde would not answer his questions. Right? She would not answer his questions about the 1,000 euros spending limit that she is allegedly proposing. The president of the European Central Bank, Christine Lagarde, refuses to justify at Davos why she wants to make cash transactions over 1,000 euros illegal. Lagarde has previously been found guilty of negligence for squandering 400 million in taxpayer funds. Lagarde told the journalist that you will still be able to make payments in banknotes because you can't shut off banknotes, cash. You can't shut off cash. But if you're paying through the digital currency over $1,000, that's going to be problematic. So that was an interesting exchange with Lagarde. The Peace Board, Witkoff talked about it to Bloomberg in his interview with Bloomberg. I think it was Bloomberg that Witkoff was speaking with. Doesn't matter, whoever it was. He said that the Peace Board is going to be game-changing. It's going to be absolutely game-changing. He's hoping that Russia and Ukraine will both accept their invitation to be part of the Peace Board, or the Board of Peace. And he believes that they both will be part of the Board of Peace. You know who has refused being part of Trump's Board of Peace? Well, France has refused, but now it looks like Norway is going to reject Trump with the Board of Peace invitation. And it looks like the UK is not going to accept being part of the Board of Peace. Daddy's going to be very, very upset with Norway and the UK. Very upset. My guess would be that Stammer eventually accepts the UK invitation to the Board of Peace. Eventually he will accept it. Norway too, as will France. They will accept. Eventually they'll accept being part of the Board of Peace. We're just seeing a lot of theatrics right now between all of these guys. So let's do a clown world, and we can wrap up today's video, and we will wait for Trump's speech. Putin's special envoy praises constructive talks with the U.S. The meeting was constructive, Dmitriev told reporters after leaving the U.S. venue at the forum known as the USA House. More and more people recognize the validity of the Russian position, he added, without elaborating. Witkoff also described the talks as very positive, but did not provide details. Trump was asked before he left for Davos, how far are you willing to go to acquire Greenland? And Trump said, you'll find out. You'll find out how far I'm willing to go. The Washington Post also published an article talking about how the United States is going to pull out of 30 NATO mechanisms. and this is freaking out the Europeans in NATO. This may be a signal of the United States trying to pull away from NATO or ditch NATO altogether. But when you read the article from the Washington Post, it doesn't seem as if this is a huge deal. The pulling away out of various mechanisms in NATO. These are all mechanisms that without a doubt the Europeans can handle. These training courses and stuff like that. But anyway, this is freaking out some of the Europeans because they don't want to see any U.S. pullback from NATO. Trump posted, "No single person or president has done more for NATO than President Donald J. Trump. If I didn't come along, there would be no NATO right now. It would have been in the ash heap of history. Sad but true, President DJT." That's not true. If you didn't come along, there would be no NATO. I don't even know what he's talking about there. Of course there would have been a NATO. And my guess is that there will continue to be a NATO. Too much money involved. Too much money and too much interests, special interests involved in NATO. Too much washing machine spinning. Donald Tusk posted on X, "Appeasement is always a sign of weakness. Europe cannot afford to be weak, neither against its enemies nor ally. Appeasement means no results, only humiliation. European assertiveness and self-confidence have become the need of the moment." You notice how all the Europeans, they do not want to mention the United States or Trump. They say the word ally or allies. We can't appease an ally. Appeasement means no results, only humiliation, neither against its enemies nor ally. Appeasement against its enemies, nor ally. Enemies being Russia, China, Iran, the multipolar world. Everyone outside of the collective West is the enemy. So you have a lot of enemies, but you can't appease the ally. Well, who's the ally, Tusk? Give us a name. Who is the ally that you're afraid to appease? What's the name of that ally? You give us a name? No, you don't want to give us a name? You're too afraid to give us a name? Too afraid to give us a name. So Clown World takes us to Davos, back to Davos, where you have Justin Trudeau and Katy Perry in Davos. The former Prime Minister of Canada is in Davos with his astronaut girlfriend, right? They're in Davos. The Prime Minister and the astronaut. She's also a sinker, but first and foremost, she's an astronaut. And they're grabbing a lot of attention because it is the power couple, Trudeau and Katy Perry. A lot of people are asking, why is Trudeau at Davos? I mean, we understand why Katy Perry's at Davos, because Katy Perry's an astronaut. And so she may want to give a speech about the training that she underwent to become an astronaut, about her trip to space and what it means for science and for the world, right? So she has a lot of insight to give about being an astronaut. So I can see why Katy Perry is at Davos. But why Trudeau? Trudeau's no longer in politics. I'll tell you why Trudeau is in Davos. Trudeau's in Davos because he is the prototype. Right? He's the mold, the prototype of the globalist elite over the past 20 years, right? That's the prototype that Klaus used in order to clone out the Macrons and the Ruttes and all of these guys. You started with Trudeau, and then you got all the rest. So of course he's going to be in Davos. Of course. He's the first of many. He's the first of many, Trudeau. He has a lifetime ticket to go to Davos. What else? Do we have any more clown worlds? There was a Danish MEP in the EU Parliament. You have all these speeches in the EU Parliament, like I said, and there was a Danish MEP Anders Visselson, who in his speech said, let me put this in words you might understand, Mr. Trump, F off. That was his message to Trump, his speech to Trump. Because of Greenland, he's very upset about Greenland. So he told Trump, F off. Anyway, that's the video, everybody. theduran.locals.com. We're on X, we're on Rumble, we're on Telegram. 26% off all merch at the Duran shop. 26% off. Not 25, but 26. I'm just checking to see if Trump has started his speech. He has not. He has not started his speech. So most likely I will be talking about Trump's speech tomorrow. We'll end the video there. Take care.